question 10 reads, in the function above, k is a constant. If 2 is a 0 of the function, what is the value of k? When I first read this question, I'm like, what the heck is a 0? Then I remembered they're the same thing as x-intercept, sorry. And that's the same thing as a root. And all of these guys are the same thing as a solution. They all mean the same thing. That's what you need to remember. 0, x-intercept, and root, they all just mean a solution of a quadratic, right? And so we know in this question, 2 is our solution to this quadratic right here. And how do we solve a quadratic? Well, I'm going to use this example. X squared minus 11x plus k. I'm going to use this quadratic actually. And so how I solve this is I equate it to 0, right? And then if I use like a method like sum and product, I would end up with the factored form of a quadratic, the factored form. It looks something like this: x plus a into x plus b. Mind you, these are just random variables, equals 0. And then eventually I'll solve for x. And how I do that is I take each of these factors and equate them to 0. So x plus a equals 0. And then so x equals negative a. And x plus b equals 0. And x equals negative b. Okay, mind you, again, these are just random variables, but that's how I solve for a quadratic usually. Okay, so here I'm going back to this quadratic, right? We know that we already know one of the factors right here. Okay, we know one of the factors, and the reason why it says that 2 is a solution. Okay, and so if I automatically jump into the factored form for this quadratic, it's going to look something like this: x minus 2 into x plus, let's say, a random variable b, again I'm going to use b, equals 0. And the reason why I did x minus 2, well, if I solve for this factor like I did right here, it's going to be x minus 2 equals 0, x equals 2. Isn't that what the question says? 2 is a 0. This 2 is a solution, and we have a solution right here. Okay, and so I hope that makes sense how I got one of the factors. Okay, and so now what I'm after is, well, how we solve this from here on out is, well, I can equate this equation right here, the factored form, right? What we like to call the factored form. And then I can equate that factored form to this form, which is the general form. And then I can see if these like terms can, we can use these like terms. And I'll show you what I mean. And so x minus 2 into x plus b equals x squared minus 11x plus k. Okay, I'm gonna expand this, okay? And so the way I'm gonna do that is foiling. And so it's gonna be x into x, that's x squared. I'll do it in a different color. X into x, that is x squared. X into b, that is xb. Minus 2 into x, that's minus 2x. And minus 2 into b, so that is minus 2b, equals x squared minus 11x plus k. And so now we come to a sort of trick in mathematics, and what I was trying to say earlier, and it doesn't really make sense if I don't show you it. Okay, and so here it is right now. What I'm trying to say, the trick is, when we have, let's say, a quadratic and a quadratic equated to each other, we can equate certain segments to each other that we know are equal. And what I mean by that is, well, I know this segment right here and this segment right here are going to be equal. Okay? And I know this segment right here, this minus 2b and this k are going to be equal as well. And why do I know that? It's because both these quadratics are following a general general form. Okay? And so I know these x's are going to be minus 11x, and I know this constant term right here is going to be that k. Okay, and so that's what I'm going to use to solve the rest of this question. Okay, and so x minus b or xb. Now if I go over here, sorry, right here, I know xb minus 2x should equal minus 11x, right? And so that should really just means that b is equal to, it's going to be equal to minus 9, right? If you work this out, it's going to be equal to minus 9. Here, so the second one, minus 2b equals k. Well, if I have k right here, and I can just plug in for b, so minus 2 into minus 9, okay? And so I plugged in that b from what we solved earlier, and so it's going to be minus 2 into minus 9, which is just 18. And so our answer is going to be D.